Have you ever wondered what truly changes in life after age 80? It's not just about slower steps or a few more wrinkles. It's the subtle shifts no one warns you about. Why does the world around you feel both familiar and strangely distant? The faces are the same, yet the rhythm of life begins to change. And what hidden truths do your memories reveal when the years grow long? Sometimes, the answers are as surprising as they are deeply human. In this video, we'll uncover 5 harsh yet profoundly real realities that often take even the strongest, most independent people by surprise after turning 80. Understanding them can be eye-opening and empowering, helping you or your loved ones navigate this chapter with clarity, confidence, and connection. Number 1. The shrinking world of social connection. Crossing the threshold of 80 often brings a quiet transformation in how we connect with others. The once vibrant flow of friendships, family gatherings, and casual visits begins to thin. The phone still rings, but not as often. Visitors still come, but the space between their visits feels longer, and the silence in between deeper. What was once a lively rhythm of laughter, spontaneous talks, and familiar faces starts to feel fragile and rare. The change is often gradual, yet its weight builds over time. Lifelong friends may move away to be closer to family, their voices now reaching you only through occasional letters or brief phone calls. Others face health challenges that keep them homebound, their energy too low for visits. And, inevitably, some are lost altogether, leaving a quiet emptiness in their place. They leave behind an ache that lingers in the spaces they once filled. Family members, too, become consumed by their own lives, careers, children, personal pursuits, leaving less time for the regular calls or visits that once felt routine. Without meaning to, the hours spent alone begin to outnumber those shared in conversation. The stillness of the home, once just a backdrop to life's bustle, now becomes a presence of its own. This change is rarely spoken about, yet after 80, the effort needed to maintain meaningful connections becomes clearer. Invitations dwindle, not from neglect, but necessity, and the gaps between visits stretch longer. Even for those who value independence, the absence of familiar voices and faces begins to weigh more heavily than expected. It is not a flaw or a failing, just the natural course of time. In this quiet space, reminiscing takes on new importance. Memories of late-night talks, holiday dinners, and everyday rituals become precious treasures. They serve as a bridge, keeping loved ones close in spirit, even when distance or time intervenes. The laughter that once filled a crowded room, the comfort of a friend's presence, and the smallest acts of care become touchstones, vivid and sustaining. Yet society rarely prepares us for this subtle shrinking of our social world. The conversation around aging often focuses on health or finances, overlooking the emotional realities. Many find themselves unprepared for the energy it takes to preserve connections as life changes. And so, learning to nurture a deep, intentional relationship with oneself becomes not just helpful, but essential. Staying rooted in your story, your values, your passions, and your sense of purpose provides an anchor when external connections begin to fade. Just as important is nurturing even a handful of meaningful relationships. A trusted confidant, a family member who takes time to listen, or a neighbor who shares a regular cup of tea can carry profound weight in the absence of a crowd. The depth and authenticity of these few bonds become a lifeline, offering not just companionship, but a powerful reminder of your place in the world. Another reality that often emerges after 80 is how even small health problems can grow into significant challenges. What once seemed like a fleeting inconvenience, a cold, a bruise, a brief loss of balance, now holds the potential for far-reaching consequences. A cold that once cleared in days may linger for weeks, draining energy and disrupting routines. A bruise that used to fade quickly may stubbornly remain for months, quietly signaling the body's changing rhythms. And a minor stumble, once shrugged off, might now lead to a sprain requiring weeks of rest, or a fracture that demands therapy, surgery, and a long recovery. This is more than just a slower pace. It reflects a deeper shift in the body's resilience. The systems that once repaired and restored without notice, fast healing, strong immunity, steady balance, are no longer as dependable. The margin for error narrows. Skipping a glass of water might lead to dehydration, bringing dizziness or confusion. Missing a meal could throw blood sugar off balance, leaving weakness that lingers for days. These are not signs of weakness, but reminders that the body now requires greater attention, care, and respect than ever before. For many, this change comes as a surprise, partly because it's rarely discussed openly. Friends and family may brush it off as simply getting older, while doctors, focused on acute conditions, may overlook the cumulative toll of these smaller ailments. Yet those living it feel the difference deeply. Each recovery seems heavier, each drop in energy more pronounced. The body, once a reliable partner, can start to feel unpredictable, demanding negotiation and patience. The challenge is not only physical, it's profoundly mental and emotional. For those who have always taken pride in their strength, independence, or vitality, this shift can feel like a betrayal, a sharp contrast between the spirit's vigor and the body's limits. Frustration, even grief, can arise when once effortless tasks now require planning or help. But within this reality lies an opportunity for empowerment. Recognizing these changes isn't surrender, it's wisdom. By paying attention to your body's signals, its call for rest, hydration, good nutrition, or gentle movement, you can adapt with intention. Slowing down doesn't mean giving up. It means honoring the strength you still have by protecting it with care. At this stage, resilience isn't about pushing harder. It's about self-compassion. It's giving yourself permission to take more time to heal, to lean on others when needed, and to rest without guilt. Sometimes, the most powerful act is the quiet decision to truly listen to your body, nurture it patiently, and allow yourself the grace to recover fully. In doing so, you preserve not just your physical health, but also the energy and spirit that still define you. Number 3. The quiet loss of visibility in social spaces. After 80, an unsettling phenomenon often emerges, not from exclusion or malice, but from a slow, almost invisible shift, the gradual fading of presence in the eyes of others. It often begins as an almost imperceptible change in how the world perceives and interacts with you. Small, fleeting moments accumulate over time, quietly shaping how you see yourself. Imagine walking into a room filled with familiar faces, expecting the warm ripple of acknowledgement that once greeted your arrival, only to find the atmosphere unchanged. Conversations flow on, your presence blending softly into the background. When you speak, your words might linger in the air, only to be overtaken by another voice. Not from disrespect, but from an unspoken assumption that your part is finished, or that it carries less weight. You may repeat a thought or a story, not because you've forgotten, but because the first time it slipped past unnoticed. Even among family and close friends, there are moments you feel like a quiet ghost, present, yet unseen. Your voice a faint echo in a world moving too quickly to pause. This isn't simply being overlooked. It's the slow erosion of social presence in a culture obsessed with youth, speed, and novelty. Age can act like a veil, hiding the person beneath. Stories rich with decades of triumph, loss, and hard-earned wisdom are sometimes met with polite nods instead of genuine curiosity. Insights, once valued, can be overshadowed by louder, newer voices. It's as if the world now sees the number of your years before it sees your humor, insight, and vitality. The emotional toll can be heavy. quiet sadness for days when your presence drew attention, or frustration at subtle dismissals and moments of being talked over. For some, it becomes a deeper grief, mourning the loss of a social role once held firmly. Yet even here, there is room for clarity and resilience. This fading visibility is not a measure of your worth, but a reflection of a society that too often forgets to honor its elders. Love, loss, and perseverance weave a tapestry of profound value, even if the world sometimes forgets to notice. Facing this reality means reclaiming your voice and agency. You are not invisible, no matter how the world may behave. Your words, shaped by decades of experience, carry a weight that outlasts passing trends. Those who truly matter, family, friends, or even strangers willing to listen, will recognize you as the treasure you are. They will lean in for your stories, your laughter, your perspective. So, the message is clear. Do not retreat into silence. Speak, share, and persist. Be the steady force that reminds others of the depth and dignity born from a life well lived. You may not be the loudest in the room, but you can be the most enduring, and that is a rare kind of power. Beyond the physical changes that come after 80 lies another transformation, quieter but equally powerful, the gradual narrowing of daily life. It's not a sudden collapse, but a slow, almost unseen contraction of spaces, routines, and connections that once filled your days. What was once a rich tapestry of familiar places, faces, and activities begins to fray, leaving a smaller, more contained version of the life you knew. This change shows itself subtly. You might go out less, not because the desire is gone, but because the effort feels heavier. A trip to the store, once simple, now takes more planning, more energy, maybe even help. Physical limitations, big or small, can make distances seem longer, and once familiar destinations harder to reach. Meanwhile, the social fabric thins. Friends who brought laughter into your home may have moved, fallen ill, or passed away. Neighbors you greeted each morning are replaced by unfamiliar faces, and the corner cafe or the bookstore you once loved may close its doors, leaving a quiet gap where memories once thrived. Your world doesn't vanish in a single moment. It contracts slowly, almost unnoticed, until one day you realize how much quieter it has become. At first, it's a faint hum of loneliness, a subtle stillness in your days. But over time, that hum can grow heavier, settling into a lingering sense of isolation. Even for those who value their independence, watching the familiar fade is disorienting. It's not only the loss of places or people, it's the erosion of rhythms that once gave life structure and meaning. The ache you feel is not weakness, but depth, the natural grief of seeing cherished chapters close because you care deeply about the life you built. Yet, within this grief lies a powerful truth. A smaller world does not mean a lesser one. Naming this change for what it is frees you to move forward with purpose. Your life may no longer span continents or crowded calendars, but it can still expand in profound ways. It might be in the richness of a single conversation, sharing a piece of your history with someone new. It could be in the spark of friendship with a younger neighbor who rekindles your curiosity, or in telling your own vivid stories of survival and joy that breathe life into today. The world you now inhabit may be smaller, but it is far from finished. Call that distant friend, even for a few minutes. Join a local group, a book club, or even a virtual gathering. Take a short walk and let the familiar sights remind you of your place in the world. Your story is still unfolding, rich, vibrant, and worth telling. One of the most profound challenges after 80 is the unpredictability of your own body. For decades, it has been your loyal partner, steady, dependable, and familiar in its rhythms. But now, it sometimes feels as though it's rewriting the rules without your consent. Some mornings greet you with an unexpected burst of vitality, your mind clear, your steps steady, your spirit lifted as if you could take on the world. For a moment, you feel like your younger self again. Then, without warning, another day arrives, and everything shifts. Your thoughts seem slower, your movements heavier, your knees unwilling to cooperate, or your hands struggling to grip a coffee mug with the ease they once had. This isn't just a minor inconvenience. It can feel like a betrayal. You've trusted this body through a lifetime of triumphs and trials, learned its quirks, and relied on its strengths. Yet now, there's no clear pattern to follow. You might set out for a morning walk, inspired by the crisp air, only to be stopped by sudden fatigue. A simple bend to tie a shoelace might leave you pausing to recover before standing again. And sometimes, without warning, a wave of dizziness can sweep in, leaving you momentarily unsteady. Stiffness that locks your joints or sudden numbness that comes and goes without reason can be unsettling. The challenge isn't just the discomfort. It's how these moments chip away at something deeper, your confidence. When your body becomes unpredictable, it casts a quiet shadow over daily life, influencing every decision. You might pause before going to the store, not because you can't, but because you're unsure how your body will respond. Will it carry you through the day, or will fatigue or pain cut your plans short? This uncertainty can make even familiar situations feel more vulnerable, slowly eroding the self-assurance you've built over a lifetime. It's natural to grieve the reliability you once took for granted, or to feel frustrated when your body no longer matches the person you know yourself to be. Yet within this challenge lies a powerful truth. While your body may be inconsistent, your approach to it can change everything. True resilience now comes from flexibility, adaptability, and self-compassion. You learn to work with your body instead of against it, pacing yourself to preserve energy, planning outings with greater mindfulness, and allowing rest without guilt. You become more attuned to its signals, turning a simple morning stretch into a daily ritual for mobility, and shifting doctor visits from reactive checkups to proactive conversations. In doing so, you transform uncertainty into strength, using knowledge as an ally to anticipate and navigate your body's changes. Reclaiming a sense of control in the face of unpredictability begins with small, intentional steps. You might try physical therapy to strengthen weaker areas, choose a diet that fuels your energy, or use helpful tools, a cane, grab bar, or ergonomic utensils, to maintain independence. You learn to appreciate the days when your body feels strong, and to meet the more difficult days with patience, knowing they don't define you. Over time, you develop a new kind of confidence, one built not on physical consistency, but on adaptability, problem-solving, and persistence. The unpredictability of your body becomes not just a challenge, but an invitation to deepen your relationship with yourself, to cultivate resilience in new ways, and to face each day with both practicality and grace. While your body may no longer have the reliability of youth, you, with your wisdom, experience, and capacity for growth, remain firmly in charge. You are not diminished by these changes, but redefined, a living testament to the strength that comes from embracing life's uncertainties with courage and clarity. We've now explored 5 profound realities that often surprise us after 80, from the quiet shrinking of social connections to the unpredictable nature of our bodies. These truths may feel harsh, but confronting them empowers us to live more fully, more wisely, and with deeper purpose. What resonated with you most? What's one insight you'll carry into your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story may inspire someone else. Wishing you good health, happiness, and peace, and remember to subscribe to my channel, Healthy Aging Blueprint.